Hey guys, I just want to chat openly about a lesson in life that I have learned that I sometimes wish that I would have learned sooner or at least tried to embody. And that is that stop copying other people because they're not you. And I went for a long time during my life. I'm 31, just about to turn 32 now. And until I was 30, I completely subconsciously just copied people all the time. I was not comfortable in my own skin and confident in my own skin. I mean, confident is such a big word. I would even say I just didn't really value myself and the unique perspective that I bring to the world, which every single person has. And therefore, I did not trust that I could be who I was without needing to change myself. And I didn't feel that I could love myself unless I managed to emulate the people around me who I admired or perceived to be successful, or because I liked them, maybe if I was more like them, other people would like me, that kind of thinking. And I feel like you can apply this thinking to lots of different areas of life, whether it be copying people because you think that they are an impressive person in the field of work that you want to do, or whether you're copying someone because you admire them as a friend and you want to emulate their friendship with people, whether you're copying the systems and the sort of like life choices that people make and create for themselves because you think that you will therefore end up in the place that they are if you make the same decisions or implement the same systems. It all stems back, I believe, to the same thing. And I think there's a difference between people who take inspiration from and people who unknowingly and subconsciously completely copy and emulate and think, if I do this, then I will be happy. Or if I do this, then I will feel love for myself. And that is what drove me further and further away from myself and drove me further and further away from the one thing that we actually have control over, which is choosing to love ourselves as we are. And now that I've realized this and that I have started to decipher the difference between taking inspiration and copying, I have started to see that there is a big difference, and that inspiration creates this energy of feeling as though it's a creative energy. It's, I am inspired by this person. What do I find inspiring about them? And how can I integrate that into my way of experiencing the world? Versus a more draining energy of, I'm really attracted to this person's way of doing things. I'm really not sure why, but like they seem to be doing really well. Everyone else seems to be like appreciating them and reinforcing them. They're making money or they're successful or people like them, whatever it is, the external validation, like they're getting it. I want that, so I'm just going to copy exactly what they're doing without a thought of how does it feel in my body to copy what they're doing. Does it feel aligned? Do I feel good doing that? Does it feel creative? Does it feel spacious? Does it feel as though I'm aligned with my own energy? There's none of that self reflection part going on when I was in the zone of copying. And this led to me basically not really knowing who I was, and really not having any idea of who was who. I'd copied so many different people for so long and so frequently subconsciously that I really didn't know what blend of who was what. And It's taken me 2 years to really quite actively reflect and catch myself getting into that pattern, and learning actually to peel all of those layers back and work out who I am underneath and what's left. And I wrote a piece last week for my newsletter that got me thinking about this on a broader level. The piece itself was all about my planning system, and how my planning system that's taken me 2 years to develop and is still ever evolving is something that started off as me copying other people. I would look at people's blogs and stuff, and I would find, influential people that I wanted to be like, and I'd find out about their productivity hacks, and I would just take them and I would put them in my life. I would do them myself, and I wouldn't change anything, and I wouldn't think about whether or not it would suit my life or me. I would just be like, if I do that, it's going to be great. And it never worked because it wasn't actually an embodied practice. It was so far from that. And in this piece I explain how, since I have changed my kind of behavior around that, from looking outwards to see what everyone else is doing, to primarily looking inwards and asking, actually, what do I need from my planning practice? What do I need? Like, how does my brain work? How does my brain need to visualize things? How often do I need to check in with my planning system? Does it need to be digital? Does it need to be on paper? Like, all these questions that I just never thought about before, because I was just constantly following what everyone else was doing. And although it's always changing, I've come to this conclusion and this realization that, like, what I have now in this planner is me. It's more me. This is like my second brain. That's what I call it all the time, because it's a reflection. It's an external reflection of me. And of course, there are inspirations in there from other people. Cal Newport is someone that I'm hugely inspired by right now. I use his idea of time blocking, and he does this kind of time blocking thing. But I've amended it so that it's also including journaling. I've combined things, and I don't know, it's a very different way of taking inspiration and being very clear with yourself that you're taking inspiration and integrating that into your own creative process of coming up with systems that is different to taking inspiration and just copying it, as if copying it is going to lead to, like, this perception of this person is going to lead to you becoming them in some way. I feel strongly that we should stop copying everyone around us and realize that there's only one of us, and that in whatever area of life you apply this to, planning is a very specific example, but I could apply this to my career, I could apply this to my friendships, I could apply this to, like, even where I choose to go on holiday, how I choose to spend my time outside of work, all sorts of things, like what exercise regimes I do. All of these things provide an opportunity to, like, reflect with yourself about how like, what you want from these things, and how you see these things supporting you in your life in unique ways, rather than always looking to the external world to look at what everyone else is doing and carbon copying that and expecting the same results without even checking in on how it actually feels in your body to do those things. The energy is completely different, and I feel as though I've gone from a space of constant lack, a feeling of lack and of chasing and of seeking this validation or like idea of success that I had, that other people seem to have, that I didn't, and I was constantly craving, to this place of, well, nothing's ever really gonna change my life like that. and nothing is ever really going to be as simple as taking an idea, putting it in my life, and everything being perfect. That's not life. But the very cool thing about life is that you will always have yourself to get to know and to be inspired by and to learn through and to create systems for. Like, the main character of your life and the person with whom these decisions about how you live your life should be made are with you, and not with or for anyone else. So yeah, it's a it's a potentially fairly obvious thing, but one that I feel has fundamentally altered the way that I approach everything in life, and is also one of the fundamental, I feel as though fundamental building blocks for learning how to really actually value and, dare I say it, love myself, which hasn't always been the easiest thing to do. So yeah, I will leave the newsletter that I referred to in the description box in case you're interested to read that. And I'd love to know what you think about this realization, and whether you think it applies in your life or not. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.